Let's go. Let's say we go with Takeru versus Rodtang Takeru, man.
Ooh, dude.
Thoughts?
I have so many. Okay. This fight was the reason that Takeru came over to one of the best kickboxers on the planet. He has the match with tension, which was like one of the biggest things ever in kickboxing. It was crazy. He has a couple more. He's like, I want to go to one and fight Rodtang. Everyone's like, no fucking way. That's gonna be awesome. And then they sign him and they try to make the fight, and Rodtang gets injured, so he fights Superlek instead, and it's an
Which
incredible
was a
fight.
banger.
Yeah, but he loses, and then they're trying to make this work, and then
So
he
Takeru
finally
loses,
got it.
but even though he lost, even though he lost, you're like, oh my god, that Rodtang fight is gonna be
Yeah,
insane, right?
exactly. Yeah, and then it's been years since we've been trying to make this happen, and we finally get it. And it's in Saitama Super Arena. There's 5 title fights on the card. It ended up being 4, I think, right? Uh, but it's just so stacked, and everything's leading up to this fight, not even a title fight. That's how good this is. We got multiple title fights underneath this.
So good, man. So good. So the fight starts off, right? And one of the things that you had mentioned was the mileage on Takeru, the
Mhm.
fact that, throughout his career, he's been able to eat a shot to be able to deliver a few of his own. But at this point, can he still do that? And can he still do that against somebody that delivers power like Rodtang?
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, skill for skill, I think Takeru might be a better, like more skilled striker technically, but that doesn't always matter. And like you said, the mileage and his style, it's gonna catch up to you. And you know, if people don't know the results, Rodtang knocked him out in what, a minute and a half, something like that,
Something like that.
in round one. There was a little bit of a feeling out process, not much, and then they just fucking went at it real quick, and it was over, and it was pretty shocking. But a lot of people are gonna think, okay, Rodtang just came in and smoked him, and that was it. But it's not just that, because here I got some screenshots. There's not a ton of footage or photos up yet. Hey, shout out Combat Sports today. Will
Will
is
is
alive,
alive.
barely,
Bro,
barely. The eyes aren't working, but um, but shout out Phil for coming on there, doing the fight stream with us. That was awesome. So go
absolutely.
follow Combat Sports today. But look at this. This is the first significant exchange of the fight. Uh, Rodtang walks straight into a punch, a hard punch, but he's tough as nails. And then he clips him with a left hand of his own right after this. Rich, if you want to go to the next picture, bam. So it's a game of inches with these guys,
Yes.
right? Like Takeru lands, Rodtang just lands harder and after. And you're like, okay. Rodtang, even after this exchange, he even takes a step back and is like, oh, he got me. And then
Yeah.
bam, the 3-2 literally turns the head around of Takeru. But Takeru's still there. This one didn't even really wobble him somehow. This is the record scratch moment. You might be wondering how I got here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But so yeah, he cracks him. That's a very hard shot, but Takeru's still in it. They circle. Rodtang follows him to the ropes, throws a low kick. Takeru checks it, brings his knee up, checks it beautifully. You're like,
Hmm.
okay, nice. Because the super leg fight, the leg kicks were such a big deal, right? They go in, and I think the next picture, Rich, uh, is a big left hook that Rodtang enters with, cracks Takeru, but he's still there. He takes a step back, bam, uncorks a big overhand right that cracks Rodtang. And you're like, son
Flush.
of a bitch. And
Flush.
in the moment, none of it, I didn't see any of this really. I'll be honest. I was seeing double. I'm
We
like awake for.
It's not just that, but, yeah, sometimes you see the head whip back or you see the reaction from the
Mhm.
fighter that gets hit that helps you see these strikes that land.
Yes.
Rodtang just kept on marching forward.
Rodtang no sells this. And not only does he no sell this, he cracks him right after it. If you want to go to one more picture, Rich, bam. Look
Boom.
at that left hook, dude. But he just ate a shot. And that's what I'm talking about. It's a game of centimeters with these guys. They're both so good. It just happens to be that Rodtang hit him harder and Takeru couldn't take, but he took 2 hard shots already and
Yeah.
really wasn't showing anything. But it's just these split seconds where they're landing on each other, and even that left hook from Takeru does land on Rodtang in this shot. But
And then Takeru falls.
Takeru goes down.
He goes
Yeah,
down. He goes down hard, man.
he goes down really
It's
hard.
one of those, you had mentioned that he puts his glove down on the mat and, like, it just kept on sliding forward. He looks
Y
over at his corner. In his corner, you could see him going,
Yeah, he's like,
like, telling him,
"Calm down,
"Breathe. Calm
calm
down.
down."
Deep breaths, deep
Yeah,
breaths." And I think while they were doing that, Takeru's staring at him, but when you have that, like, that
yeah,
stare where it's an empty
it's
stare, like, you
dazed.
don't know if
Yeah,
he's registering what they're telling him. And Olivier waves it off. Just as he waves it off, Takeru tries to pop up.
yeah,
When he
literally
does
right
pop up,
after. Mhm.
he's still a little wobbly, right? It was a very good stoppage from the boss.
Yeah,
And,
what a left hook.
man, leading up to this, the crowd was on fire, man. Just
Well, because the co-main was something else.
the co-main was something else. Japan had been showing up. Japanese fighters had been showing up very, very well
Oh, yeah.
the entire night, so they were just pumped.
Yeah,
And even
100%.
after this, like, the crowd was still pretty good, but you could tell that the
Yeah.
wind had left all the sails.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not for Rodtang, though. Rodtang was full of wind. This dude was all over the place. He looked ecstatic. And I wanna say, I think this is proof that Rodtang, when there's a caliber of opponent that he's matched up with, that he deems, like, worthy of putting in the work, he shows up, dude. He
Yeah,
absolutely shows up. I know people have criticized him for his performances against some of the other fighters that he's faced, but because people will say, like, when he was supposed to fight Superlek, people are like, "Okay, yeah, but look what he did with so and so. Look how he fought. He went life and death with so and so, and Superlek's outclassing these guys." And it's like he's not on the same level as Superlek, but then he shows up and he almost beats Superlek, and you're like, "Okay, I think it's just one of those cases where he fights to the level of his opponent." And dude, he took this one serious, dude. Hired Peter
yeah,
Miller, the nutritionist, looked shredded. I mean, came for war, and yeah, he took him out
ready.
quick.
Came prepared. Hey, just one more time. Well, I know where you mentioned it, but Anonymous, Austin, now Chris
Yeah,
Smith, all the same people that were joining us live during the stream. Like, wow. And
they're
they're here
back
with us
already.
now.
Yeah,
Amazing.
to Anonymous's point, I think Takeru could have gotten up sooner. I think maybe I kind that was my initial reaction too. I thought if he sprung up literally a half second sooner, that fight may have continued. I don't know if that would have changed the outcome. I think, like you said, he did wobble. He took a step, like a catch
Yep.
myself stumble right after he propped up. But that was my initial thought as well. Um, but yeah, Chris, surprisingly, he was up yesterday. I don't know how you're here too, Chris. All these people were there for the whole stream, dude.
I know. Savages.
Respect.
Absolute savages.
Yeah,
But
but
yes, what an
post
amazing
fight,
fight.
yeah,
And
I mean, it was
I
just,
know some people like Phil and myself, right? Like,
yeah,
we were expecting a war, and we're like, even if it's 2 rounds, 3 rounds, like, but it's a lot of back and forth. Somebody else had mentioned that this reminded them of the Haggerty Superlek fight. Well, it just
hmm
ended a little bit faster than expected.
it's kind of like,
But at the end of the day, Rodtang did what he was supposed to do. He went in there, he finished his fight, and it was a good way to cap off the night.
and it happened quick, but they really did. They cracked each other a couple times. It's not like this was
Yeah.
just like he didn't walk out and left hook him and it was over. Like they landed on each other almost every exchange. So I mean, very cool. It's a cool one to rewatch and see all these shots that landed because yeah, when it happens quick like that, you don't really see it all. Um,
Hey,
but
shout out Ganskow
hey, shout out
joining
Ganska.
us.
But Chatri says Rodtang versus they're gonna do Rodtang Haggerty 3. That's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah, Chatri
Ooh.
confirmed Haggerty versus Rodtang next banger. I'm
Hey, let's
hoping
just do
that's
it in
Denver.
Denver.
Yeah,
Come on, let's just do it
yeah,
in
dude.
Denver.
And
Stop messing around.
Takeru was talking about how if he came to one to fight Rodtang, that would probably be his last fight. And he said that he's not going to make that announcement just yet. And Chatri had some words with him, and it's actually a pretty cool clip of Chatri talking to him to try to like get his spirits up and stuff. And they're speaking Japanese, so I'm not really sure what he's saying, but you can see Takeru replies almost like I don't know if he's like apologizing or either down on himself with what he said, because then Chachi's like, no. He like goes all hard. And you're like, fucking you, dude. Like he's like, you're fucking sick. And you're like, all right, It's a cool video, and
I love how you translate some of these things in
that's
your
my
head.
translation. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my translation. You can tell by
that's so funny.
the emphasis, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
But yeah, so Rodtang Haggerty, Takeru, I don't know what's next for him, but man, just what a legendary career if that's it, you know?
yeah, he can't go out like that though.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Give us one more in Denver. We're just trying to
Takeru in
stack the
Denver.
Denver card, dude. Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you for watching that short clip. Just so you know, that was a small excerpt from what we covered this last Sunday, right, Will?
Yeah, we cover the entire event every weekend. So this was just a cutout from the live stream that we did. The link to that live stream is in the description. So if you want to hear about the other fights that night, it's down below in the description. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because we go live every Sunday to cover events. And if you do that, you'll know for next week and you can tune in and be in the chat and get featured on the show just like everybody else was on this clip.
We hope to chat with you live.